Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. So, I never expected I would be a write-in, but I need some external help with this. Sorry if formatting is weird or wording is jumbled up. I'm writing quick and on my phone. Me, 42 female, and my husband, 45 male, never have any big problems. We have 5 children, 17 male, 16 female, 14 male, 10 male, and 6 male. And any fights we do have are over them, which is what this was. We have a pool and we had a large amount of people here this weekend to celebrate my daughter's sweet 16. Of course, most of the guests were teenage girls and boys, but family and friends of me and my husband's came too. One of these friends was my husband's best friend, also 45, and girlfriend, 32. We'll call him H. I've never been too extremely fond of him or the age gap between him and his girlfriend. But alas, our children do consider him and call him their uncle. I'm close enough to his girlfriend to consider her a close friend though. Since all my daughter's friends were all having big sweet 16 parties, she wanted one too. So the pool was all decorated and so was the inside and outside. And per her request, she was the only one at the party in a red bathing suit so she would stand out. The party was going great until I was in the laundry room grabbing some stuff when I overheard H talking in the room over, most likely on his phone. He was saying how she was hotter than the girls he had known as a teen, and he kind of wished she was turning 18, not 16. That any boy who effed her would be doing a service to God and she looked too good in a red bathing suit. I stopped. I wasn't immediately jumping to action, I was confused. This is a man my children grew up with, who babysat them, stayed many nights over at our house, talking about my daughter in a way no one should talk about a child. I marched outside and dragged my husband into the house to the room H was in. I'll admit, I yelled and told H he wasn't allowed in my house or around any of our family again, especially our daughter, and to leave immediately before telling my husband anything. H got red in the face and cussed at me and my husband for eavesdropping. I screamed at H to tell my husband what he was saying in my house about my daughter. H got even more mad before storming out and leaving in his girlfriend's car, without his girlfriend. My husband was getting irritated and demanded to know what happened, so I took a second to calm down before telling him. He told me we would deal with it later and just let our daughter have a great rest of the party. I agreed and we rejoined that party, even though we got a few looks. H's girlfriend came up to me towards the end asking why H was spamming her phone, telling her that I was a B, basically all the derogatory terms you can think, even going as far as to say I was a loose woman just like my daughter. I was extremely appalled and dragged her over to my husband, who gave me an exasperated look. He told me to let it die for just a bit and he'll talk to H after the party. That was yesterday afternoon and my husband just recently came home after meeting up with H and staying the night. He said I was overreacting, that H wasn't even talking about our daughter, that I shouldn't have acted the way I did all day, and I was connecting dots that weren't supposed to be connected. I was upset and told him even if it wasn't our daughter he was talking about, he's still talking about a 16-year-old in an inappropriate way. We argued for a long time before eventually he left again, saying he was going to drive to blow off steam. Now I'm in the bathroom shaking and crying. How am I supposed to just sit back and allow this creep near any of my children? I love my husband and I think he's just been blinded by his loyalty to his friend. I don't want to get a divorce, especially because I live across the country from my family and I don't want to leave my husband. I love him, but he isn't taking me seriously in a serious situation. I keep thinking even if he wasn't talking about my daughter, he was still talking about someone the age of my daughter. It's wrong in so many ways. I would have still acted this way if it was about someone else at the party. I keep thinking this is a nightmare and I'm going to wake up, but no, it's reality. I'm just overwhelmed and don't know what to do. Please help me. Edit. Hey guys, OP here. Thanks for everyone who responded in the comments. I appreciate every single one of you and I've read just about every comment. My heart goes out to those who have gone through something like this in the past. My husband still isn't back from his drive. I have a suspicion he might be out with H because I called H's girlfriend. We're gonna call her S now, to tell her everything. She told me he left that morning and hasn't been home since. Either me or my son are going to swing by her apartment and she's going to stay over here for a few nights. I don't think she can stand to see H any more than I can. She's been angry at him ever since the text messages. I've told my eldest son. He acted the way my husband should have acted. He's angry and ready to hop in a car and find both H and my husband. I feel bad involving him, but I need him to know what happened so he can protect his siblings. I'm unsure how I'm going to approach the rest of the kids with this, but I'm going to have separate talks with them all about any inappropriate behavior H might have had. My eldest son told me that H never did anything to him. He noticed some behavior which was always strange, but he blamed it on just being weird. So here are my plans. First, H isn't going to be allowed near any of my kids, ever. This is a fine line if I decide to stay with my husband, and if he tries to cross it, then he'll be the next one to go. By the way, my legal people, can I get a restraining order? Is that how that works? Second, I'm going to tell my husband he isn't allowed home or allowed to talk to my kids. This is until I tell all my children what happened. Have a talk with each of them separately, and him and me have a talk in a public space. I'm thinking cafe or park with a friend there to mediate. Anything he needs until then can be brought to him by his sister. Me and S are going to go through my husband's stuff and whatever she can grab from her and H's apartment. We're looking for any CP or things that are suspicious. I'm also worried about this third man, the one on the phone. Maybe S knows him. Also, not immediately the moment she gets here. We're going to wait until maybe tomorrow, even the next day. I'll keep you guys updated on any new things that happen. Thanks so much for the support as my life unravels, LOL. Now for some comments. My dad's best friend said something similar about me, in front of me. It was after I came home in my tennis outfit when I was 15. My dad broke his nose and he was no longer allowed in our house. Your husband is a douchebag. Well, if you want to show your husband this post on what can be said, go for it. I'll direct this comment to him. Specifics. He talked in specifics. My ex-friend's dad talked in specifics. Not the, oh, she gonna be a heartbreaker. No. Guys who talk in specifics like that are not the type of best friend you want. That ex-friend's dad was arrested for having sex with a minor. There's probably been some little comments here and there that he said that you blinked at, then brushed off. Things he has done that were small but noticeable that you explained away. Which makes me wonder how he explained away talking about your daughter like that. How did he explain away the hottest teen he has met? How did he explain away the wish she was 18 not 16 comment? How did he explain it away?
Oh, I was just complimenting her, bro.
Your daughter is hot and she's gonna make some guy lucky someday. Did he do it like that? Or did he sit there and complain about your wife eavesdropping and putting out every complaint you ever had about her to you, telling her how much of a bee she is, that she took the convo out of context, that she needs to let it go? It's weird because damn near every man I met that talks in specifics like that has already started the process, has already thought about the daughter in that way, has already decided to probe here and there to see what response he would get. Your wife gave the correct response. Your response? I know you're probably trying to figure out how best to navigate your best friend having a sexual attraction. Because again, specifics. He talked in specifics to your daughter. So will you actually ask the hard questions or just do the it was just bro talk and sweep it under the rug for your daughter to dissect with a therapist down the line? To the OP, talk to your kids separately. Find out if anything has been said or they noticed something off. Talk to your daughter. Let her know what was said. You don't need to be detailed, just that H said some very concerning things that made you uncomfortable and you want to know if he's ever made her uncomfortable as well. Talk to the girlfriend. Get those texts he sent her. Evidence is evidence no matter how small or useless it may seem. Next, talk to your husband. If you let him read the post, ask about other things H has said. If you didn't, well, H left without his girlfriend in her car. Focus on that. If it was a misunderstanding, why do that? He does need to realize that his let it drop attitude is not a good look for him because if H has said it in a convo, he's probably said it in front of the husband. Do let him know that you have talked and will continue to talk to your daughter. Most predators are people the teen does know, and if it talks like a duck, you're going to assume it's a duck and react accordingly. I wish you luck, OP. I hope that your husband isn't an idiot or one that would have responded differently if it had been one of the boys H was talking about and not his only daughter. OP replied, your advice is amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. This man quite literally said, I wish she was turning 18 and not 16. There isn't a hope in hell he wasn't talking about your underage daughter he has known since she was a small child, and your husband is excusing this behavior. You haven't taken this seriously enough at this point. I know this is crazy, but he's okay with his friend calling you, his wife, and his newly 16-year-old daughter sluts and other names. This is disgusting. Do you want your boys growing up thinking these are good role models? Do you want them to think it's okay to speak to and about women like that? Let's pretend that he wasn't talking about your daughter. Your husband just told you that it's okay for grown men to want to have sex with 16-year-old girls. And he's fine with his friend calling you and your daughter sluts. WTF? Do not minimize this. Get out. Make sure your daughter is safe. Edit. The effing creeps in this thread. Find a woman your own age and leave children alone. As of right now, I, female 20, am an independent tattoo artist, and I travel to my clients to provide them with my tattoo services. I work 2 jobs, and on my free time, I get 1 day off a week. I spend it doing tattoos for people. I used to go alone to do my tattoos, but my boyfriend, male 21, started asking to come along with me because I often tattoo men and he doesn't like me being alone with them. Or I ask him to tag along because I enjoy him seeing my progression as an artist. I usually do bigger pieces that will last somewhere between 4 to 8 hours long. Therefore, recently he's been asking to get a portion, usually 50%, of the profit I make from tattooing. I was wondering if it's fair for him to ask for the money I work for. On one hand, I understand and I'm very grateful he takes the time out of his day to sit for hours to watch over and protect me. I also understand he's in school and doesn't have a job that provides him with consistent income. On the other hand, it frustrates me that he'd even ask for the hard money I earn from tattooing. Opinions? Now for some comments. Is he like your tattoo pimp? No. Tell him this is your income and that he doesn't have to accompany you if he doesn't want to. He could use the time he accompanies you to get his own job. This is a huge red flag. For what? Does he do any of the work while he's tagging along? Does he buy any of your supplies? Is he contributing to your overhead in any way? Does he pay any of the fuel when you travel to your clients? What's the 50% for? Is it a scummy boyfriend tax? He stalks you because he doesn't trust you, and then he asks for half the money you earn from your hard-earned skill while doing absolutely no work himself? Listen to yourself. On what planet is this a reasonable request? Not Earth, that's for sure. He comes with you voluntarily, and you were fine even before he started coming. Ask him to stay home or find a part-time gig if he cares that much about cash. And if safety is an issue, hide a taser and a can of pepper spray in your supplies. It's a cheaper one-time payment instead of 50% per gig. And if he really can't trust you alone with other men, then there's bigger issues than just cash. I, 21 female, have a friend Kayla, 22 female. Kayla is extremely socially awkward and sensitive. She always wants to hang around me and my boyfriend because we're her only friends. Kin, 24 male, is very social and super sweet to everyone, and people have asked me if it ever weirds me out how much Kayla wants to hang around him, but I trust him and her 100%. We all went on a trip during my paid vacation, and it was supposed to be just me and Kin. But Kayla wanted to go with me before, so I agreed to let her come along, and my boyfriend didn't mind. It was quite a drive where we were going, and Kin doesn't stop for anything except if it's an emergency bathroom break. I brought chips and salsa, but didn't think to bring lunch on the way. Kin said he was hungry, and Kayla told him she knew I wasn't going to come prepared and made lunch for herself and him. I was kind of taken aback, but I didn't say anything. Kin said the food was really good and started feeding me. We were both telling her she's professional level good at cooking and she was just quiet. I knew something was wrong because she always blushes at any compliments. I turn around and she's crying in the back seat. I tell Kin to stop the car and he's looking as confused as me. She told me she's just car sick, so I go back with her and I'm just rubbing her back as we get there. When we're alone, she had a talk with me and told me I show off with Kin any chance I get, and she's lonely and it feels like I'm rubbing that in her face. She says I don't make enough time for her anymore, which isn't even true. Kin said she was killing the mood and is upset I invited her. On the other hand, Kayla is upset because she feels she's not wanted. I feel like I'm at a loss. What can I do to make both of them happy? Edit. I've read all of your replies. Thank you for the suggestions and perspective. I sent Kayla a message to have a talk with her and wrote down some boundaries. From now on, I'll work on separately spending time with her. Now for some comments. OP wrote, Kin said he was hungry and Kayla told him she knew I wasn't going to come prepared and made lunch for herself and him. That's where my tolerance would have run dry. She managed to invite herself along on what was supposed to be your vacation with your boyfriend and then acts like you're an unwelcome third wheel, packing lunch for herself and him and being critical of you allegedly being unprepared. Making lunch for everyone and teasing you about not thinking about food would have been different. But this was designed to be something between her and Kin. You were meant to be excluded. She isn't sad because she thinks you're less available. She's sad because Kin isn't buying into her efforts to cozy up to him. Why the hell did she make a lunch for him though? It's inappropriate. Feels more like she's trying to show who's better to him because she likes him, but she blames it on wanting your attention. OP replied, She told me that she was just trying to be considerate and would have brought me lunch too, but I'm particular about food and assumed I was fine with chips and salsa I brought. However, I am realizing even if that were the case, her bringing lunch just for him was shady. That's why I was a little stunned. It's very obvious this poor girl has a crush on your boyfriend. She made lunch just for the two of them. That's a pretty bold move right there. Kin is right. You shouldn't keep inviting her everywhere with you two. You and Kin are dating. You're not dating Kayla. I'm sure that really did ruin the mood. He likely knows she likes him and it probably makes him feel weird. Try having a friendship alone with Kayla on occasion if you want to spend time with her. Ask Kin if he wants some distance from her. WTF? She's openly making plays for your man and she's so socially awkward you're missing it. How embarrassing for her. The audacity to pack him food and even say it's because she knew you'd drop the ball. She couldn't have been more obvious with a damn neon sign. This girl wants your boyfriend. Reassess this friendship you have altogether. OP replied, After this trip, it's definitely hit me that she has some type of feelings towards him. I more so think she's desperate for male attention in general. When I confronted her, she couldn't look me in the eye to tell me she didn't look at him like that. I used to feel like I could trust her, but reading these replies is helping me with perspective. My boyfriend, on the other hand, told me that he feels like she likes him now and finds her creepy. It's not like the name-calling gives me pride, but it makes me feel at ease with him knowing he's not the easiest target to sway and not attracted to her. However, with her making him uncomfortable now, I definitely can't keep letting her hang around him. I'm actually nervous to tell her to keep her distance from him. She's unpredictable. She hangs out with the two of you because she wants to spend time with him. The lunch made for the two of them is painfully obvious. And so is the snub that she knew you wouldn't make him any.
What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this story and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate you spending your valuable time with me. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.